right, so today I'm going to talk about how I got approximately around $41,000 of student loan debt, how it accumulated, and basically a little bit about what happened. So let's start at the beginning. In the beginning of my little educational career, when I was a wee little lad, I'm just playing. I was 18. So I went to high school. In the high school I went to, it was a pretty big schools in Texas. It was like a 5A high school, which was like, I think 6A was like the biggest one. So it was a pretty big high school. I did really well. I was a part of the track team. It was academically rigorous too. I really enjoyed myself. Side note, I didn't finish school, at least high school. Well, I finished high school in Texas, but I took a sabbatical, I guess you could say, and I went to school in Florida. And when I was in Florida, I got introduced to dual credit classes. So dual credit classes are like much better than AP classes, because with dual credit classes, you're able to get actual college credit when you pass the class versus having to take an AP test and then qualify to get the credit. So when I was there, I took two classes and I actually did receive college credit. I took world religion as well as like elementary statistics, something that was real hard. I took like a math class. So I did that, ended up going back to Texas where I took psychology and sociology, and I received those credits as dual credit classes. So I actually went into my college year with 12 semester hours towards my actual degree. Now, none of this helped me with financial aid. I mean, it's great. It was so great to have 12 credit hours. It's so great not to have to pay for that. But the FAFSA ain't say, hey, you just significantly talented. I want to give you all the money you need to go to college. Like, it didn't happen. So when I was applying for colleges, I initially wanted to go to Howard. I was like, me and my friend was like, we're going to go to Howard. Howard's where we want to be. It was great. So the problem with Howard is that, well, as you may know, or if you don't, Howard is a historically Black college or university. Woo woo. So I did want to go there. However, it was a private HBCU and not a public university. So it didn't even matter because their tuition a year was like $20,000-$30,000. And I was like, okay, I can't even afford that. I took my SAT and ACT like 3 times. Okay, 3 times, and each time I got a little bit better, but I didn't qualify for their like scholarship. I had got a 23 on the ACT, and I think you needed like a 26. And after the 3rd time taking it, I couldn't will myself to take that test one more time. So I decided that I couldn't go to Howard. I did apply for a bunch of scholarships though. I did apply for a bunch of colleges though. I applied to Howard, I got in. I applied to the University of Alabama and got in, Roll Tide Road. I applied to Texas A&M, UCLA, as well as the University of Texas. So I had very big dreams. Like, I wish somebody would have humbled me to say and told me, like, just apply to one college you know you're gonna get into as a backup. So the college that I really wanted to go to was Texas A&M, because I did a college tour there, and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. I love it. I saw the football players practice. I went to see the campus. We ate at the little dining hall. It was so great, or so I thought. And I'm like, this is where I really want to go. So what happened is when you're in Texas, they have a scholarship called like the 10% scholarship. So anybody who's in the top 10% of their class can get automatic acceptance into like state schools, including Texas A&M and the University of Texas. And I was in the 11%. 11th. I missed it by 1%. So whatever. So I wasn't able to get that. So it's very hard to get into those colleges, because if you're in the 10%, you're automatically accepted into those colleges. And then the other people, they review on as needed or as a case-by-case basis. So with me, I got conditionally accepted, which means I got denied. I know y'all think like since it said accepted, it was something like, no, they denied me. So I got conditionally accepted / denied to both A&M and UT. So I was like, okay, I want to go to A&M. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what they're talking about. What were they talking about? So I forgot the name of the program, but it was like a conditional acceptance. It says, hey, if you, like, you're a good applicant, however, there's way too many people, we can't let you in this semester. However, if you choose one of these majors and complete at least a 3.0 GPA and take this one class that everybody had to take, then you'll be automatically accepted to Texas A&M University the next semester. So I was like, cool, I'm going to do this. It's going to be cool. What I'm going to do is, do my little year here, peace out to whatever school I'm at. Then I'm going to be at A&M. I just thought A&M was so great. I was stupid. It's a great school, but it's just not for me. Oh yeah, okay. So I decided I was going to do that. So what they did was they gave you a list of sister schools to go to. So Texas A&M has other schools that's affiliated with them. So they have Texas A&M Commerce, Texas A&M Central Texas, like different Texas A&Ms. They're like sister schools. Like instead of University of Texas, the main one, they have University of Texas at San Antonio, University of Texas at Brownsville. They gave me all those colleges. And I was like, oh, where am I going to go? And I swear to God, the only one I knew and that I heard about was Prairie View A&M University. Mind you, I didn't even know that this was an HBCU, but God himself, God was looking out, because I was like, yeah, I heard good things about PV. Like, I'm just going to go here. I'm going to do my little years, whatever. So I decided to accept the A&M, whatever, decline. And I went ahead and went to Prairie View A&M University, which is a historically black college university, which I graduated from. Anyway, so that happened. And while I was there, my major was psychology. Yes, it was psychology initially. And for my first year, I had to take this class called finite math. And what I can tell you about finite math is that shit was hard. Like it didn't even matter. Like, you think this is like algebra and geometry? Like, no. Those classes give you a formula to work out of. You put the numbers in the formula and you get the answer. This class was totally different because it didn't even care. Like, it didn't even care about the formula. What you were doing was they gave you the formula and then asked you how to get it. So we were calculating mortgages and interest rates, and it was the hardest fucking class, and it was my first year, and I did a lot of studying, a lot of tutoring, a lot of seeing, like, the professor see me, I see him, we all in this thing trying to pass together. And I had a tutor who's also my pal, so, like, I did a lot of studying. Thank God I passed the class. I don't know how would it be, and I was like, cool, in this thing. So I went back to my college. I went back to my counselors to renew for my, like, next semester classes or whatever. And I told her about my degree. It was in psychology. She's like, well, what you going to do in psychology? At that point, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a counselor. I'm going to be a psychologist. I'm going to do it. And she was like, well, did you know, you can actually, be a social worker, and then you won't have to get your PhD, and you can be clinically licensed. Then, you'll be able to bill insurances, and you can have private practice and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, you don't know what you talking about. I was like, this lady didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that, whatever. Googled it the next day. I was like, I think she know what she's talking about. So after I figured that out, I was like, okay, cool. So I changed my major, and at the end of that year, it was time for me to move and go to Texas A&M to complete my degree. However, I decided to stay. And I didn't leave since, like, that was the thing. If I started at school, I wanted to stay and graduate out of school. But since I was so in love with A&M, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to A&M. And I had, like, the best experience at Prairie View A&M University, at my HBCU. I learned so much about me, so much about, being a Black woman, so much about the history of HBCUs. And, it was just a good environment to be at and to foster a lot of the things that I have today. So I loved my time there. And again, I didn't leave, and I ended up graduating in 2016 with my bachelor's degree in social work. Now, I know that sounds like such a cute and fun college story, but at the end of my bachelor's, I had a total of about $15,000 worth of student loan debt. So yeah, it was a lot of debt, and well, it wasn't that much. It wasn't as much as other people, because, like, I decreased my loans and stuff. But at the end of the day, with FAFSA and all that I was offered, it was about $15,000. I did have jobs when I was in college. I worked for work study. I got paid. I worked as a hostess, and I worked as a direct support professional, helping people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I had jobs. Your girl was working. I'm not afraid of work. I work. But it wasn't $15K worth of work. So I had a balance. So that was how I got into student loan debt, at least for my bachelor's. And in the next episode, I'll tell y'all about how I got into my master's, which is just so sad. But anyway, y'all, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.